A sharp mind and a vibrant memory are often viewed as the random gifts of genetics. But a deeper understanding reveals that cognitive vitality is a deliberate creation, much like the manifestation of any other desire. Many individuals in their later years succumb to the erroneous belief that mental decline is a natural, unavoidable consequence of aging, accepting senior moments as a fixed reality rather than a challenge to be transcended. This resignation creates a self-fulfilling prophecy, limiting the brain's potential just as limiting beliefs restrict the spirit. By aligning nutritional choices with the intention for clarity, specifically through the consumption of 7 potent fruits favored by medical experts, one can fuel the brain's neuroplasticity and protect its delicate circuitry. This journey explores the biological and energetic impact of these foods, offering a pathway where the physical vessel supports a limitless mind, enabling a life of purpose, connection, and enduring mental acuity. The vibrational resonance of dark berries and intention, the consumption of dark berries, particularly blueberries and strawberries, represents more than a simple dietary choice. It acts as a fundamental investment in the preservation of the brain's delicate neural architecture. Medical research consistently highlights these fruits for their high concentration of flavonoids, specifically anthocyanins, which are capable of crossing the blood-brain barrier to exert potent antioxidant and anti-inflammatory effects directly on neural tissue. When the brain metabolizes oxygen to fuel thought and memory, it naturally produces free radicals, unstable molecules that can damage cells and accelerate cognitive aging if left unchecked. The antioxidants found in these berries function as a biochemical defense system, neutralizing these free radicals and reducing the oxidative stress that accumulates over decades of life. This biological mechanism aligns seamlessly with the philosophy of Dyer, which emphasizes the importance of purifying one's inner environment to allow the highest form of energy to flow without obstruction. Just as one must banish toxic thoughts to maintain spiritual equilibrium, one must introduce high vibrational nutrients to banish physiological toxicity, ensuring that the material vehicle of the mind remains a pristine conduit for awareness. Deep within the hippocampus, the brain region responsible for memory consolidation and learning, the bioactive compounds in blueberries have been observed to enhance signaling between neurons. This improved signaling facilitates long-term potentiation, the process by which synaptic connections become stronger with frequent activation, forming the biological basis of memory retention. A study involving older adults indicated that regular consumption of blueberry juice led to measurable improvements in memory function and depressive symptoms, suggesting a dual benefit for both cognition and mood. This interplay between mood and memory reflects the holistic view that the mind and body are not separate entities, but parts of a unified field of existence. When an individual consciously chooses to nourish the brain with these potent fruits, they're engaging in an act of self-respect that signals a desire for continued growth and expansion. It is a rejection of the stagnation often associated with aging and an affirmation of the potential for renewal that exists in every moment. Consider the daily scenario of a retiree who stands in the kitchen, faced with the option of a sugary, processed pastry or a bowl of fresh, dark berries. The choice is not merely about calories, but about the intention setting for the day. The pastry represents immediate gratification but long-term energy depletion, while the berries represent a commitment to sustained vitality. As the individual eats the fruit, there is a tangible sensory experience, the burst of flavor, the texture, that serves to ground them in the present moment, a state of being that is essential for both mental clarity and spiritual peace. The act becomes a ritual of self-care, where the physical ingestion of nutrients mirrors the psychological intake of positive, life-affirming thoughts. This practice creates a feedback loop. The healthier brain is better equipped to focus, to meditate, and to engage in the intellectual pursuits that give life meaning, thereby reinforcing the initial intention to live fully. It demonstrates that the power to shape one's cognitive destiny lies in the small, consistent decisions made each day. However, It is crucial to acknowledge that the benefits of these fruits are not a magic bullet that can completely override a lifestyle filled with toxicity or neglect. Even the most potent antioxidants cannot fully counteract the damage caused by chronic stress, lack of sleep, or a diet high in inflammatory processed foods. The biological reality is that the body operates as a complex system of checks and balances. If the inflammatory load is too high, the protective effects of anthocyanins may be overwhelmed, rendering them less effective. This limitation serves as a reminder that health, like spiritual enlightenment, requires a holistic approach where all aspects of life, diet, movement, thought patterns, and environment, must be brought into harmony. Reliance on a single superfood without addressing the underlying terrain of the body and mind is akin to expecting a single positive thought to negate a lifetime of pessimism. True transformation requires a comprehensive shift in how one relates to their own existence. The philosophy of intention further suggests that the energy with which one consumes food matters as much as the food itself. If an individual eats blueberries while consumed by anxiety or resentment, the physiological stress response, characterized by elevated cortisol levels, can inhibit digestion and nutrient absorption, dampening the positive effects. Conversely, eating with gratitude and a sense of appreciation for the Earth's abundance enhances the body's parasympathetic state, the rest and digest mode that optimizes biological function. This perspective invites a deeper engagement with the act of eating, viewing it not as a mundane chore, but as a sacred exchange of energy. It encourages the senior individual to cultivate a mindset where every meal is an opportunity to honor the temple of the body, recognizing that a sharp mind is the tool through which the soul expresses its unique purpose. In the realm of cognitive health, the accumulation of amyloid plaques is a hallmark of neurodegenerative conditions, often leading to the disruption of cell-to-cell communication. Research suggests that the polyphenol in strawberries may help aid the brain's natural housekeeping processes, potentially slowing the accumulation of these proteins. This cleansing action parallels the spiritual practice of clearing away the clutter of the ego and past conditioning to reveal the authentic self. Just as the mind must be regularly cleared of limiting beliefs to function at its highest capacity, the brain tissue must be cleared of metabolic debris. The inclusion of these fruits in the diet supports this essential biological hygiene, allowing the neural networks to fire efficiently and preserving the intricate web of memories that constitute a person's life story. Ultimately, the incorporation of berries into the daily diet is a manifestation of the belief that one is worthy of a high-quality life, regardless of chronological age. It challenges the societal narrative that decline is the norm, offering instead a narrative of maintenance, repair, and flourishing. The antioxidants provided by nature are tools, but the hand that wields them is guided by the human will. By combining the science of nutrition with the wisdom of intentional living, one creates a powerful synergy that protects the brain. This approach transforms the simple act of eating fruit into a declaration of independence from the fear of aging, asserting that the mind can remain a clear, luminous vessel capable of learning, loving, and creating until the very end of the physical journey. Does my daily nourishment reflect the clarity I wish to embody? The cognitive fluidity of avocados and universal flow the avocado, often misclassified as a vegetable, stands out as a unique fruit that offers profound benefits for the aging brain, primarily due to its rich content of monounsaturated fats. These healthy fats are essential for maintaining the structural integrity of neuronal membranes, which must remain fluid and flexible to facilitate the rapid transmission of electrical signals. In the context of the brain, the cell membrane is the gatekeeper of intelligence. It determines how well a neuron can communicate with its neighbors and how effectively it can receive nutrients and expel waste. A diet deficient in healthy fats can lead to rigid cell membranes, slowing down cognitive processing and impairing the brain's ability to adapt to new information. This biological necessity mirrors the concept of an open and flexible mind, a central tenet in Wayne Dyer's teachings, which advocates for staying open to everything and attached to nothing. Just as a rigid mind is brittle and prone to suffering, a rigid neuronal membrane is vulnerable to damage and dysfunction. Beyond their lipid content, avocados are a dense source of lutein, a carotenoid that accumulates in the brain and has been linked to the preservation of crystallized intelligence, the ability to use learned knowledge and experience. High levels of neural lutein are associated with better executive function, which encompasses the skills of planning, focusing attention, and multitasking. This is particularly relevant for seniors who wish to maintain their autonomy and ability to manage complex daily affairs. The presence of lutein in the brain acts as a neuroprotective agent, filtering out oxidative stress, much like it filters blue light in the eyes. From a holistic perspective, this can be seen as the physical manifestation of clarity. The nutrient literally helps the brain filter out noise to focus on the signal. It supports the idea that the body has an innate intelligence that, when supported by the right materials, strives toward order and efficiency. In a practical, everyday scenario, imagine a person sitting down to a lunch that includes a sliced avocado. The act of preparing the fruit, cutting through the rough skin to reveal the creamy, green interior, can be a moment of mindfulness. As they consume the avocado, the healthy fats promote satiety and stabilize blood sugar levels, preventing the energy crashes that often lead to brain fog in the afternoon. This steady supply of fuel is crucial for maintaining mental acuity throughout the day, allowing the individual to engage in conversations, solve problems, or pursue creative hobbies without fatigue. The stability of blood glucose is analogous to emotional stability. When the body's energy is consistent, the mind is less likely to be hijacked by irritability or confusion. It allows the person to remain centered and grounded, capable of responding to life's demands with grace rather than reaction. A potential counterpoint to the heavy consumption of avocados is their high caloric density, which can be a concern for individuals with sedentary lifestyles or specific metabolic conditions. However, this limitation is often misunderstood. The fear of dietary fat has led many to opt for low-fat, high-sugar alternatives that are far more damaging to brain health. The key lies in balance and the recognition that the quality of calories matters more than the quantity. It is a lesson in discernment, understanding that not all energy sources are created equal. This discernment is a cognitive skill in itself, requiring the individual to look beyond superficial labels and understand the deeper nutritional value of their food. It aligns with the spiritual practice of looking beyond appearances to find the truth, trusting that nature provides exactly what is needed for sustenance when approached with wisdom. Blood flow is another critical factor in cognitive health, and avocados contribute to vascular health, which is directly linked to brain function. The heart and the brain are inextricably connected. What harms the vessels of the heart generally harms the vessels of the brain. By helping to manage cholesterol levels and reduce blood pressure, the nutrients in avocados ensure that the brain receives a constant, robust supply of oxygen and glucose. This unimpeded flow of life force is essential for the survival of neurons. In Wayne Dyer's philosophy, the concept of flow is paramount. The idea that the universe supports those who are in alignment with its current. A healthy vascular system allows the biological life force to circulate without resistance, mirroring a state of being where one moves through life without internal resistance or blockages. The presence of folate in avocados also plays a significant role in lowering homocysteine levels, a substance that, when elevated, is a risk factor for Alzheimer's disease and cognitive decline. Folate deficiency can lead to brain atrophy and depression, further illustrating the connection between nutrition and mental state. By ensuring adequate folate intake, one is essentially providing the brain with the raw materials needed for DNA repair and neurotransmitter synthesis. This reparative capability speaks to the body's incredible resilience and its constant drive towards healing. It reinforces the empowering belief that the body is not a decaying machine, but a dynamic organism that is constantly renewing itself, provided it is given the proper support. This perspective shifts the focus from fear of disease to the proactive cultivation of health. Integrating avocados into the diet is a practical step that yields compounding interest for cognitive longevity. It is a choice that honors the complexity of the human brain, acknowledging that it requires specific, high-quality building blocks to function optimally. This nutritional strategy is an affirmation of the self, a declaration that one values their own mind and intends to keep it sharp and agile. It supports a life where the later years are defined not by withdrawal, but by continued engagement and expansion. By nourishing the physical brain with healthy fats, one creates a solid foundation for the higher mind to operate, allowing for the continued exploration of life's mysteries and the sharing of wisdom accumulated over a lifetime. Am I flowing with life or creating resistance? The awakening zest of citrus and higher awareness, the vibrant family of citrus fruits, including oranges, grapefruits, and lemons, offers a powerful spectrum of neuroprotective benefits that extend far beyond their well-known vitamin C content. While vitamin C is indeed a crucial antioxidant that defends the brain against oxidative stress, the flavonoids found in citrus, such as hesperidin and naringenin, have been shown to possess specific capabilities for crossing the blood-brain barrier and interacting with signaling pathways that control inflammation and cell survival. These compounds appear to protect nerve cells from injury and may even promote the growth of new brain cells, a phenomenon known as neurogenesis. This biological potential challenges the outdated notion that the adult brain is static and incapable of regeneration. Instead, it supports a view of the human organism as a site of limitless potential, aligning with the spiritual insight that we are beings of infinite possibility, limited only by our beliefs and our biological stewardship. In the context of daily living, the consumption of citrus provides an immediate sensory awakening that can serve as a powerful anchor for mindfulness. The act of peeling an orange releases a spray of essential oils whose scent stimulates the olfactory system, which has a direct pathway to the brain's emotional centers. This sensory input can instantly uplift mood and increase alertness, pulling the individual out of lethargy and into the now. Dyer often spoke of the importance of living in the present moment, as it is the only place where life actually occurs. The ritual of eating citrus can be a practice in presence, where the sharp, tangy flavor demands attention and breaks the autopilot mode that often governs daily habits. This heightened state of awareness is not just psychological. It is grounded in the physiological stimulation of the senses, creating a bridge between the physical experience and mental clarity. Research indicates that the regular intake of citrus fruits is associated with a lower risk of cognitive decline and dementia. The mechanism involves the reduction of neuroinflammation, a chronic, low-grade inflammation in the brain that is believed to be a primary driver of aging and neurodegenerative disease. By quelling this inflammation, citrus flavonoids help to maintain the integrity of neural circuits, allowing for faster processing speeds and better memory recall. This anti-inflammatory action can be likened to the spiritual practice of forgiveness and letting go of grievances. Just as holding on to anger creates emotional inflammation that clouds judgment and peace, physiological inflammation clouds the clarity of the mind. Consuming these fruits is a way of physically releasing the heat and irritation within the system, promoting a cool, calm, and collected internal environment. However, unnecessary precaution arises with grapefruit specifically, as it contains compounds that interact with enzymes responsible for metabolizing certain medications. This interaction can lead to dangerously high levels of drugs in the bloodstream, a reminder that even natural substances must be treated with respect and knowledge. This limitation underscores the importance of self-awareness and personal responsibility in health management. It teaches that what is beneficial for one system may require adjustment for another, and that true health involves listening to the body and understanding its specific needs in relation to external inputs. It is a call to be an active participant in one's well-being, rather than a passive recipient of general advice, mirroring the spiritual call to be the author of one's own life story. The potassium found in citrus fruits also contributes to brain health by regulating blood pressure and ensuring proper fluid balance within cells. High blood pressure is a silent enemy of cognitive function, capable of causing micro damage to the brain's small blood vessels over time. By maintaining vascular health through potassium-rich foods, one ensures that the brain's complex infrastructure remains sound. This attention to the plumbing of the body supports the higher functions of the mind, illustrating the interdependence of the physical and the mental. It suggests that caring for the body's basic physiological needs is a spiritual act, as it preserves the vessel through which consciousness experiences the world. A healthy body allows the spirit to express itself fully, without being hindered by physical limitations or discomfort. Furthermore, the hydration provided by these water-rich fruits is essential for cognitive performance. Even mild dehydration can lead to difficulties in concentration, memory, and mood regulation. The brain is highly sensitive to fluid levels, and the water found in fruit, structured and rich in electrolytes, is particularly effective for cellular hydration. This aspect of nourishment speaks to the fundamental need for flow and fluidity in life. Stagnation is the enemy of vitality. By keeping the system hydrated and flushed with nutrients, one encourages the continuous movement of energy and information. This physical fluidity supports mental flexibility, the ability to adapt to change, and to view life's challenges as opportunities for growth rather than insurmountable obstacles. Incorporating citrus into the daily routine is a simple yet profound way to signal to the body and mind that one is awake and ready to engage with life. It is a nutritional strategy that promotes brightness, clarity, and resilience. By choosing foods that reduce inflammation and stimulate neural repair, the individual is actively constructing a reality where their mind remains a sharp, reliable tool. This aligns with the understanding that we are co-creators of our experience. We do not simply watch our bodies age, but participate in the process through our choices. The zest of citrus becomes a symbol of the zest for life, a tangible representation of the energy and enthusiasm that is available to anyone who chooses to align their habits with their highest intention for well-being. What part of my life needs to wake up right now? The manifestation of longevity through orchard fruits, the final category of fruits essential for the senior brain, includes the orchard staples: apples, pomegranates, and grapes. These fruits are powerhouses of polyphenol, particularly resveratrol in grapes and quercetin in apples, which have been extensively studied for their ability to modulate the gut-brain axis. Emerging science reveals that the health of the gut microbiome is directly linked to cognitive function, influencing everything from mood to memory. The fiber and polyphenol in these fruits act as prebiotics, feeding the beneficial bacteria that produce short-chain fatty acids and neurotransmitters like serotonin. This biological connection illustrates a profound truth often echoed in holistic thought. Everything is connected. The mind cannot be isolated from the body, nor the brain from the gut. Treating the system as a unified whole is the only path to true vitality, reflecting the spiritual principle of oneness that Dyer often championed. Pomegranates, in particular, contain punicalagins, which are metabolized by gut bacteria into urolithins, compounds that have been shown to rejuvenate mitochondria, the power plants of the cells. As we age, mitochondrial function tends to decline, leading to a loss of energy in both the body and the brain. By revitalizing these cellular engines, pomegranates help to restore the energy levels necessary for sharp thinking and active living. This process of cellular renewal is a physical manifestation of the idea that it is never too late to start over or to find new energy. It challenges the fatalistic view of aging as a slow slide into exhaustion, offering instead a biological mechanism for revitalization. It suggests that the energy of the universe is always available to us, provided we have the metabolic machinery to harness it. Apples, often taken for granted due to their ubiquity, are rich in quercetin, a flavonoid that protects brain cells from oxidative stress and reduces the toxicity of neurotoxic agents. The old adage, an apple a day, holds a deeper wisdom, pointing to the power of consistency and simple, natural habits. In a world that often seeks complex, high-tech solutions to health problems, the apple reminds us that nature has already provided the answers. This return to simplicity is a core theme in spiritual growth. Often, the truth is not hidden in complexity, but is right in front of us, waiting to be recognized. Choosing an apple is an act of trust in nature's intelligence, a recognition that the earth provides exactly what is needed to sustain human life in its optimal form. A potential limitation to consider is the sugar content of grapes and pomegranates, which can be high. However, when consumed in their whole form, the fiber modulates the absorption of sugar, preventing the rapid spikes in insulin that are detrimental to brain health. This nuance teaches the importance of wholeness. Stripping a fruit of its fiber to make juice removes its protective matrix, just as stripping a life of its challenges or context removes the opportunity for growth. It is the whole package, the sweet and the fibrous, the easy and the difficult, that creates health. This perspective encourages an embrace of the whole self and the whole food, understanding that nature designs foods in a balanced way that processed alternatives cannot replicate. The consumption of these fruits also has a communal and cultural dimension that should not be overlooked. Sharing a bowl of grapes or slicing an apple for a grandchild creates moments of connection and shared joy. Social engagement is one of the strongest predictors of cognitive longevity. The act of eating together anchors the memory in a positive emotional context. Wayne Dyer emphasized that we are social beings meant to share love and light. Food is a medium for this sharing. When one eats with the intention of nourishing not just the self, but the relationships that sustain the self, the health benefits are amplified by the neurochemistry of love and belonging. As this exploration concludes, the future hook presented at the outset finds its resolution. A sharper brain and a vibrant memory are not merely wishful thinking, but the result of intentional, informed choices. The common enemy of inevitable decline is defeated by the science of neuroplasticity and the philosophy of limitless potential. The quantifiable promise is fulfilled through the specific, actionable inclusion of these 7 fruit categories: berries, avocados, citrus, and orchard fruits into the daily diet. This is not just a diet. It is a lifestyle of high vibrational living. It is a refusal to accept the average as the limit. By fueling the brain with the best that nature offers, one is manifesting a reality where age brings wisdom, not decay. The journey to cognitive longevity is a synthesis of the physical and the spiritual. It is about treating the body with the reverence due to the vessel of the soul. Each piece of fruit consumed is a vote for clarity, for energy, and for a life fully lived. The doctors and the mystics agree on this fundamental truth. We have more power over our health than we have been led to believe. By taking charge of what enters the body, the senior individual takes charge of the mind, ensuring that the years ahead are not just a time of existence, but a time of vivid, joyful, and lucid experience. The power to create a sharp, resilient mind lies in the palm of the hand, ready to be eaten, enjoyed, and transformed into the energy of a life well loved. What legacy of vitality am I creating for myself today?